Man, yesterday was an awesome show, man. I've got nothing but feedback off of it. We went 55 minutes, man. We almost went a whole
It didn't,
hour.
it didn't feel like it, man. We're having so much fun with all the comments and everybody giving us questions. So,
That is what is such an amazing thing with the Cowboy Cast, right? Is that it never does feel like we've gone 40 some minutes sometimes, and we're like, wow, they didn't even feel like it, and
uh,
that's the beauty of it, right? And I think that right now this is the building blocks and the foundation pieces. So each one of you is so important just as much as the content that we bring, and man, yesterday, I mean, we talked about the Fergus shots. I mean, we even talked about Peyton. You even brought some stats. It was just yesterday was just so much. But let's take a deep dive look, right? Let's take a look ahead, right? Because we have a matchup coming up soon. So it's good when we see the Cowboys play some football. And this Sunday evening, we got the Dallas Cowboys facing off against the Colts. So man, without is it safe? Is it safe to say right now, Harvey, that we cannot sleep on these Colts?
no, we can't, man. We can't sleep on them. And this is why I say that. If you look at the schedule, they beat the Bills or they lost to the Bills
Okay.
by 3 points the first week, and then they actually beat the Chiefs. So you can't sleep on him. And then with Jeff Saturday coming in, he's a man of, or he leads men of what he says that he can lead men. They've been playing a lot better, and I'm sure you'll give them the stats to let them know that they've been improving. So we'll see, man.
Christopher Cruz. Somebody has their noties on, man. He's a part of the noti
Hey,
gang.
let's do that.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Man,
Yes, sir.
we love the Noti Gang, man. That means that he has notifications turned off. If you don't know what Noti Gang is, that's what it is. Jerry Jones is lucky to have fans like us, man. I think that he's absolutely right, man, because we give our. I mean, I literally like we've heard that term blood, sweat, and tears. We literally do, man, because I've seen some brawls, man, that Cowboys nations have gotten into at barbecues, and at the barbecues, people are sweating off, just trying to make a good dinner for their family so they can enjoy the game, and then, oh man, the Cowboys have us back and forth sometimes, but it is that's why we love being a part of this nation, right?
Um,
Cowboys nation to be
hey, Jerry, this is the way I put it, man. Jerry wouldn't have this empire he has if it wasn't for us.
Look at this. Rams already chiming in, man. Rams ready for the Colts, man. He's been ready since Thanksgiving. After Thanksgiving supper, he was already breaking it down. I already know, Ram. Need to put the Colts away early or expect an upset. Ooh, man. Well said. Harvey, let's get right into it, right? I mean, right now we're gonna talk about their offense right now. It's different. You know, obviously we know back in November 7th they let go of Frank Reich. They brought in Jeff Saturday, a former player of theirs with no coaching experience. People were making fun of the Colts, saying that that was the Colts owner's drinking buddy that he made him a coach. And you know what? I think that he acts and he walks and he is an NFL coach. I don't know how you feel about that, Harvey.
I think at the end of the day, some of his coordinators could help him out with that. As far as, I mean, he's been a player for 14 years, man. He knows how practices go. He knows the timeline, schedules. So it's not like he's doesn't know what he's doing. Come on, man. He's played the game at a high level too. We're not talking about some scrub. He
Yeah.
played with Peyton Manning. So when people say that, man, I don't see that. He knows how to build a schedule, how to get these guys online. But to me nowadays, with all the stuff that's going on with social media and all the distractions in this world, right? I think he's the type of dude that can get them straight and get them in line. This is a business, man. We're here to work. You know what I'm saying? Get our lunch pail, get our hard hat, and go to work, man. I think he's that type of guy. And when you have that type of guy leading you, man, you'll run through a brick wall and walk through fire for this dude. So I think that's what you're seeing with the Colts.
Man, I honestly, there's some truth to a lot of truth to what you just said, and a lot of truth to what Ram just said. Let's take a look at it because I'll tell you this: he kind of gave the Colts kind of like this little jolt. Now I understand, they yesterday's game wasn't the best for them. He even I think he's even gone on the record saying that, man, if he would have called a timeout here, hey, but that's good, man, because at least he's addressing that, he could improve, right? But we're still looking at it, and when you look at the playoff pictures, they're still on the bubble, man. They're still on the bubble. So, of course, I think they're gonna need to win. They're gonna need to win out, of course, to have that consideration to get into the playoffs. Plus, maybe a couple of losses, and I think that they're in. But I'll tell you this right now: the game that they're playing is the game to ruin another team's chances of entering into the playoffs. That's the game that the Colts are playing right now.
Yeah, man. I think this is a different game, and it seems like with the Colts, they when they lose, they don't lose by very much. It's either a touchdown or less for most part, other than the Patriots game. But if you think about it, if they fix the small mistakes, how about that fumble by Taylor on the goal line?
Ooh.
I mean, that's a touchdown. They're up by one.
I mean, you kind of briefly talked about, like the recent games too, right? But
Y-
pre-lobby, we're talking about, man, you went back all the way to all their
Yeah,
games, and literally all their games weren't. I mean, this aside from what the Patriots, that
the
was the only.
Patriots. I mean, really, the Patriots game they lost 26-3. But other than that, they lost to the Titans by one touchdown. They beat the Chiefs. Oh, the Jaguars. They lost to the Jaguars 24-0. But other than those two games, they tied the Texans. They beat Tampa Bay by 17. They lost to the Detroit Lions by one. They lost to the Jags again, or no, they beat the Jags the second time by a touchdown. They lost to the Titans by 9 points, and they lost to the Washington Commanders by 1 point. So it's not like they're getting blown out every game. So you got to be careful with teams like that.
I think, when we look at the Colts, I mean, for the last 2 seasons, they've been known for their defense. And then last
Yeah,
season, I think, there was just a remarkable season by any running back in quite some time by Jonathan Taylor. And then, of course, Chris Ballard has done a pretty good job of constructing this team. And, he even had that little trade with DeForest Buckner was the missing piece. But, of course, we've kind of seen a little bit of, just different coordinators. They lost Matt Eberflus to the Bears as their new head
Bears.
coach.
Yeah.
So, definitely there's going to be a little bit of a transition, right? Because it's kind of hard to say a change, but I will say this: I mean, the Colts offense, well, the Colts defense. First, let's talk about that. Right now, ESPN has them ranked 6, and they actually have the Cowboys ranked 7th in defense. But this is offense. But I'm just trying to show you what the Colts offense. I mean, I'm sorry, what the Colts' strongest suit has been this season. It's their defense being able to keep them in games, right? So, I think if anything, I think Ram said it, very well. It said put the Colts away early or expect an upset, right? So, when we're looking at it, who's the most dangerous weapon on offense right now for the Colts?
It has to be. It has to be Taylor.
Even with all that tread, he has a lot of tread, man, on those tires.
I still think, man, you got to be careful. And the only reason I say that is because we're a little bit vulnerable to that run game. So that's why I say that. I think it's Taylor because I don't think so. If it's not Taylor, Jerry, then who is it?
Man, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I just like Alec Pierce. I like this wide receiver, man. I know he's a rookie. I know it's hard and this and that, but man, he's gonna give the Cowboys the biggest problems, man. Because I'll tell you this, the Cowboys already know we're gonna need to tee off on that running game, stop that running game. But I'll tell you this, I'm not afraid of Trayvon Diggs' side. What I'm afraid of is Anthony Brown and his height. And you're talking about
Yeah,
Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce. I'm just saying for this game specifically, right? So let's just say it could be vice versa, right? Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce are both 6'3" guys. They're both, I believe, for sure. Alec Pierce is a 4.33 guy, but Michael Pittman, we've seen that he could be a number one superstar. Chris, you being a goof, man. Oh gosh almighty, Harvey gets my blood going. No wonder you're a Lafayette legend. Hey, Lafayette legend for sure, man. But settle down, Chris. Let's talk about the Colts. How about that? Uh but yeah, man. I mean, what's your response to me when you ask me who is, who's the one that we need to watch out for?
As far as your response to saying it's Pierce or
It could be interchangeable because I think it's going to come down to the wide receivers because right now we are seeing quarterbacks picking on Anthony Brown.
I don't know, it's tough, man. I that's a hard one for me because I think Brown can get help, so I'm not worried. Now, if we're talking about we have multiple receivers, then we got to worry because now we can't give Brown help. If that makes sense, that's why I'm not too worried about it. But I'm telling you, man, if you start running the ball on somebody, you tear that defense down, we could be in trouble. And I can't. I'm gonna keep saying that. Every the Our weakness is us stopping the run. If we can't do that, this defense won't be able to stop anybody, regardless of they have one good receiver or three receivers. It doesn't matter. But the other thing is, how do you protect a quarterback, Jerry?
By running the ball.
Go ahead and let Matt Ryan pass the ball to that rookie or wherever you want. I don't care who it is. The Cowboys are going to come, man. They have the most sacks in the NFL. And if you think Jeff Saturday is going to have Matt Ryan drop back and pass the ball more than run it, you're crazy. There's no way.
So ESPN has the Colts averaging about 99 yards a game and rushing attack. But I think these stats are a little bit kind of outdated, right? Because we need
Yeah.
to see with Jeff Saturday, right? And so when we're looking at ahead is we're looking at, like you said, Jonathan Taylor, yeah, of course we're gonna have to tee off on defense, but we're gonna have to be careful and make sure that Anthony Brown, because we have, as of late, we have seen Paris Campbell kind of make a reemergence. If you notice lately, he's been getting the ball and he's been staying healthy. So they do kind of have that three wide receiver that you were just hinting to. They kind of have it right now.
Yeah. I'm not
You see,
scared, man.
would you be? You see, that's what I'm saying. Would you? Is that considered being taking them lightly?
No, man, they learned their lesson already. The only reason it was close with the Giants is because Vegas had it out for us. Let's just be honest.
I
Vegas had it out for us, right? So they had to
called
get
it
their
too.
last.
I called it on
You
that day.
did, you did the last minute touchdown. But other than that, man, like don't look, and and every Cowboy fan knows when we play in the NFC East. I don't care if you're undefeated and the other team has lost their 0-10. When we play each other, it's going to be a game, regardless of what the score or the standings is. It's going to be a game because we know each other so well. But I'm telling you, man, this is going to be a blow. I'm not worried about the receivers. They don't scare me. Like, it's not Aaron Rodgers, right? It's Matt Ryan. But what scares me is the run game. That's what scares me.
Yeah, tomorrow we'll be able to have, because the thing was that the I believe it was Mike McCarthy was just coming out with his audio, or his press conferences. So tomorrow we'll have those actual cut ups and clips ready to go to see the actual game plan, and we can really dissect it, right? And get into it really deep to see exactly, what because the Cowboys are making some moves, right? Which is something we should have addressed earlier, right? They cut and released Terrell Basham.
Yep.
Their last season he had a pretty good, you know, you're Ramiro, 80-year-old Matt Ryan. It feels like he's 80 years old, man.
How long has he been in the league? 14 years?
And yeah,
Is that right or am I wrong?
no, you're right, man. He's been in there for quite some time, man. Like it feels forever, man. Like,
Oh, man.
yeah, he's one of those guys kind of stuck in there a little bit too long, but it is what it is. He's indoors, he's inside a dome. But I will say this: yes, we need to stop that. But let's cover that real quick. With Terrell Basham gone or cut, right? Cowboys cut Terrell Basham. Why do you think they did that? Obviously, every time there's a cut, there's either somebody's gonna get brought up or somebody's gonna be brought in, and they're gonna be in the active roster.
The question is James Washington started his 21-day window?
Well, I have yet to hear or see any reports out that he is you know well, okay, I did see a report where he was saying he was healthy. But the thing is that once you take him off of IR, that's it, man. There's no place for him to go, man.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. It could be a combination of things.
If you had one guess, just say it now, and I'll say my guess too. I mean, we already kind of talked about it pregame, but where's your gut going with? Because I don't know what your final assessment
I
was.
I think with the clip that you just put out, y'all need to see that clip, by the way, on TikTok, about Tyler Smith. I think it's Tyrone Smith. Tyrone. I think it's him, man. I think they're gonna play him at left tackle and move Tyler Smith to left guard. I think that's what's happening.
And the reason why I brought that up, right, about Basham is because in the beginning, I was like, oh, this could be for OBJ, but no, I think it's for. I'm going to agree with you in this one. It's hard to be agreeable on every little thing, but in this case, I think you're right because you need that. Some players need 10-day windows. I think he needs a 21-day window right before he can actually step on the field. So I think that that's what they're doing is they're getting him ready. Somebody put out a report that they thought it was for Tack McKinley, but I was like, wait a minute, Tack McKinley he was actually suited up and dressed up and activated this last Sunday, right?
Correct.
So, the talk around the town has been how chiseled Tack McKinley looks, right? But obviously he fits in the defense. So, yes, we need to stop Jonathan Taylor. Yes, we need to get to Matt Ryan. Yes, if Matt Ryan is sitting there in the pocket, yes, our defense will get to him. So that is, I think that the passing, no, yes, I know it's hard to get a little bit of our head of ourselves, but man, I don't know, man. I just don't trust. I mean, right now, I think Anthony Brown's kind of like our biggest liability on defense, and I think that offenses know that. But the reason why I was getting to that was I think that what Jeff Saturday is doing is he's trying to change the Colts culture around completely, and I think that what he's trying to do is implement this tough team culture, which right now in the NFL I think there's only 2 teams right now that are very tough teams that have that tough mentality where literally they're gonna go in there and they don't care if they score many points or if they score any points. You know what I mean? If they win by a field goal, they don't care because they won by a field goal. That's obviously it's the Tennessee Titans and the San Francisco 49ers.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I'm just saying, I think that Mike McCarthy knows that we need to make sure that we impose our will, and the only way to do it is to make sure that our offensive line, the left side of our offensive line can match the right side of our offensive line. So, if you're really, if you love what the Cowboys are doing, look at what they do on the right side, man. It's amazing. They open the hose for the running backs to go, but I'll tell you this, the left side kind of struggles to do the same thing for the Cowboys, man. So I think bringing in Tyron and putting Tyler, I think that now we can match the. It's kind of hard, man. Mike McCarthy is gonna need to dig deep and get Kellen Moore to understand. Hey, man, we're playing some big boy football right now, man. So that's the hard part, right? And I think with Jeff Saturday, that's kind of it looks like that's what Jeff Saturday is trying to do with the Colts is make them a strong, imposing will type team. Brown is not a liability. They are not testing Diggs. Yeah, I know they're not testing Diggs, man.
So, so that's a good point, man. Are we seeing? You saying he's a liability because he's getting passed more than any other cornerback? So is that why we're saying that? Because they're passing the ball to him so many times, and then the one time they score on him, we're like, man, what the hell? But I mean, how many times, how many targets go his way a whole game?
It's pretty much lopsided. It's
So is
I
he
haven't
really that bad?
well, no, it's just that Trayvon Diggs is that good, man. They didn't
I'm
want
just saying though,
they
you
don't
know what I'm
want to throw
saying?
they don't want to throw it to Diggs' way, so they're saying, well, there's Anthony Brown right there. Let's pick on that guy.
But I'm just saying, if you play a slot machine for freaking 1,000 times, I mean, eventually you're gonna win once.
I heard a great conversation going on earlier from another content creator, and they said, is Dan Quinn utilizing Diggs the right way? And or the question was better set, is Dan Quinn using this defense the right way because of the personnel, because you can have some fun if they want to start, picking on Brown. Well, you can, you can have a safety, giving you a cover one shell look, but be in the middle and then one over top. I mean, literally, you could help out Brown
Yeah.
and leave Diggs on his own. Go back to those days, because this is insane. We have not seen a corner like this since Darrelle Revis.
Look, this is what I'm gonna say, man, and I might have to say it some other time, but I, they should not scheme anything.
Okay.
Diggs needs to put on his big boy pants, right? Put on his big boy pants, put on his damn straps on, and just cover the number one receiver in the team. Lock him down. I keep saying that, man. You want big money? Show me. Like that's what they should do. But they've been doing that as of late. They've been making him follow the number one receiver. But with the Colts, I mean, do you really have to do that? Not really.
Man, I just don't know, man. These guys are big.
Look, listen, Jerry. No
They're
worries,
big
man.
boys, man. They're big boys in the past.
I hate to say this, but as Aaron Rodgers would say, relax, right? Relax. It's all good, man. Because guess what? I guarantee you, Dan Quinn is saying this. He probably has a big screen, right? And he's saying it's Halloween, right?
Okay.
This is a Green Bay Packer player, but he's actually disguised as a Colt.
Damn.
So
So you're
do you want to
saying,
go? Do you want to go through that again? If you do,
I
then
don't know.
fine.
I don't know. I
I'm
don't
just
know.
saying he's gonna have him ready to play, man. Because this is the type of team, and tell me if I'm wrong. In the past years, the Cowboys they played to the level of their opponent.
Oh
Have they
yeah.
not?
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. I think
this is the
especially.
game. This is the game, Jerry, that we're gonna find because they've already been through it, right? They've been through it 3 weeks ago. Is it gonna happen again? And if it happens again, it's the same. It's the violin, man, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But if we want to be a different team, if we want to be the Buffaloes, the Chiefs, the Niners, all those teams, this is the game, man. We just put them away in the first quarter. And if we can't do that, man, we're in trouble. We're in trouble.
So let's look at their defense, right? Because obviously, for our offense to get going, we got to see where their strongest suits are on defense. So right now, ESPN has them ranked sixth. They have allowed in total, they have allowed a total of 3,707 yards. That's an average of 308 yards per game. And passing total, they've allowed 2,287 yards passing. So that's an average of 190.6 yards a game. Rushing, their defense have allowed 1,420 yards with an average of 118 yards per game. And then points, they've allowed 244 points, which is 20.3 points per game. The Cowboys, on the other hand, on offense, we are right now averaging about 25.4 a game. And that's because we need to get a little, like you said, how we're saying we need to see how it is with Jeff Saturday. Well, and by tomorrow we'll have all that a little bit better shape out Jeff Saturday, but we also need to we'll also have a little bit better shape out with Dak's return, right? But let me ask one more question, right? Because I mean, I know you today we're kind of limited on time. Would you like OBJ to join the Dallas Cowboys right now?
So that's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, I know. That's why I asked it.
I, so this is like, oh man, it's tough, right? This is why it's so tough. Number one, I think you said it earlier in the show yesterday. When we come down to the playoffs and they make you one dimensional, do you have the firepower to drive it down the field with your receivers?
Mm.
Do you? I
Now,
don't
right
know,
now,
man.
I mean, it's if you go back to the game against, I mean, just go back to the game, right? Go back to the game against on Thanksgiving. Why do you think Schultz was? Why do you think Schultz was open? Everybody was on CD Lamb, man. Like it's
Yep.
crazy. Go back to the game. You see, man, you see what they did to CD Lamb, and it's crazy. I don't understand how the refs allow this to happen. CD Lamb got clotheslined by Kayvon Thibodeau, man. Like it's crazy. Like the things that they do to our receivers, man. It's crazy. But go back and look. Why did Schultz get open? Because everybody's on CD Lamb. So yeah,
Yep.
right now they're teeing off on CD Lamb, and then of course everything that Michael Gallup also caught was contested. Man, Michael Gallup still, we haven't really seen the deep threat Michael Gallup. We've been seeing the Michael Gallup that's going up there and getting the ball, but everything's contested. But it's good to see
So
that Dak trusts them.
so there's a lot of things going because I'm thinking about the future. Number one, right now we're doing pretty good. As far as Dak's been back, I think I read the stats the last segment, right? I said they pretty much top five in each category, right? Pretty close. So that means we're getting better with Dak, right? The other thing is we really don't need him right now, but we might need him later.
Yes.
The other thing is, do we get him and how much money is he going to cost? That's what's breaking my heart. Does that mean we lose Pollard?
Man, I don't know, man.
So that's what I'm trying to say. That's why I'm kind of like torn between, and we're talking about he's torn what, two ACLs
Yes, no, the same
or
the same ACL twice.
the same one twice?
Yes.
I don't know, man. That's like, I don't know. That's like having a girlfriend. She cheats on you twice and you want her back.
Well, I don't know, an injury and a girlfriend.
I'm just saying, man.
I get
Like,
I
how
get the
you?
analogy, but I will say this. I mean, he can definitely help you get one of those other wide receivers to stretch the field.
Yeah,
That's the only reason I feel that the Cowboys should continue this push towards him. Ramiro Gallup is starting to look like he can hold his own. Pandemic is getting better. Like the way he did during the pandemic. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I first off, are we yes or no? Is Gallup starting to look week by week? Is he look like he's getting better and better?
He is, man. He is. He is. He's looking like he's now down the field. No, but those crossing routes, that's the old Gallup, man. Snatching the ball out of the air with his hands. I'm telling you, I mean, I was getting excited out. I think my skin came off of my hands. I was clapping so hard. Like, but yeah, man, he looks like he's other than you said the deep threat, and we'll see that probably we're progressing. But man, they were contested, Jerry. It
They
wasn't
were.
like he was wide open.
No.
Like that's hard to do in the NFL. Somebody strapped on you, you just grab that thing out of the sky like it's nothing, you know? So I
And
think he's back, man.
Dak was firing it with. I mean,
He was.
he was trusting Michael Gallup like crazy. But I will say this: what I did like about the game plan, even though it was too pass happy in the beginning, what I did, we talked about it briefly, and just to kind of piggyback off of that conversation we've already had, I think that they need to get CD the ball fast and early, man. So yeah, I think the game plan for the Cowboys this week is like kind of like what Ram said. Get going first, man. Get going first. Set the tempo. I think you need to get Tony Pollard involved, and you know what? Try to get Trayvon Diggs. And then, towards the back end of the game, I want to see more of them, the Fergus shots, the three tight end package sets, you know what I'm saying? And just run it with Zeke at the end. And then, that's kind of like when you start allowing to open up different areas of the game, right? Whether it be a tight end sweep, right, which is what we were talking about yesterday, or a bootleg, or a quarterback keeper. So I think that the game plan should be relatively easy. Obviously running the ball is definitely the one that starts it for the Cowboys. So my question to you, is there any little wrinkle that you would change to my game plan for the Colts offensively?
For them against us.
No, for us against them, our offense against them offensively.
So the only thing I would do probably from the get go, right? I know I talk about running the ball and all that. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm going deep the first play.
Oh, who are you going to?
I don't care who it is. I'm going deep. Either CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to go deep. Either that or Pollard coming out from the back, lining up on the side, going deep.
I was
I'm
just
taking it. I'm taking a deep shot, man. I'm playing play action with Zeke. Pollard could be on the outside. Maybe CeeDee Lamb in the middle. Gallup on the outside. Run CeeDee Lamb deep and Pollard, and then have Gallup coming across the middle. I'm throwing it deep, man. I'm letting them know, like, I'm going to throw it deep. That way I can push those safeties back and then just run the ball on them. But I'm taking a shot from the beginning.
perhaps
Yeah.
I would like to see Turpin go deep, man. We talked about that in the beginning, right? The beginning stages, we're like, man, you're talking about a very athletic wide receiver. He's, it's
But
on.
Jerry,
They're not even
he
punting
did
or kicking it to him.
Jerry, he did that. He did that in camp.
He
They
did.
threw him the ball deep, but they don't do it in the game.
I don't know, man. I wish that's why they don't allow us to have the. I will say this: I do have media credentials, but man, they won't. The Cowboys are very strict on who they allow into the actual media to ask these questions. Because these are the questions I'd be asking. You know what I mean? Like, hey, why ain't Turpin? Why are you using him as a gadget player? Number one, he wasn't a gadget player at USFL. He wasn't a gadget player everywhere he's been. He's been a playmaker everywhere he goes, man. And you're talking about he has a similar skill set to that of Cheetah, or to be tech, or to be or correct, politically correct. Jalen Wall, not Jalen Wall. Oh my gosh,
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He has that same skill set, as far as
Yep.
speed and hops and all that good stuff. So I would like to see him, hey Ram, I bet you anything they were to give him a go route, and you know what? I'm just stand there and catch it. I bet you he'd out jump everybody for that ball, man. That's the
Yeah.
kind of that's what Turpin has put out on tape, wherever he's gone. So yeah, I would say I want to see Tony Pollard go first, but hey, man, I like the aggressiveness, man. Let's take the shot early and let's get it going.
Yep.
If it doesn't work, you already know. Hey, let's get the run going. Going that didn't work, but hey, you know what? We'll get them sneaking. We'll sneak them. We'll sneak one by because I will tell you this: their defense, they're allowing a little bit more yards on the passing side than anything. And Stephon Gilmore is not Stephon Gilmore that he was with the Patriots. So I like your aggressiveness. Last question. How long before Mike McCarthy gets the Dallas Cowboys to be a tough team, especially during the latter part of the like these last games of the season, and even getting into the postseason? Where how we said I said Tennessee Titans and 49ers. I don't know. Was there another team out there that you would like to throw in there?
That's pretty right now. I think you said it. Titans and 49ers are the man. I have to throw the Commanders in there. Those guys are gritty, man.
They're very gritty.
They are. Like, so I I don't think it's this game. I'm looking forward to the Titans game.
So you think
That
you think that's where we see a different approach, or we see the Cowboys become a very tough team?
they're not going to have a choice, Jerry. With
Maybe
Mike Vrabel, with a Mike Vrabel team, they don't have a choice.
Let's see that game, man. They lost to the Bengals, man, and we beat the Bengals. So
Yep.
there's
So I think we'll find out if Mike has them ready and they're tough enough to roll with those kind of players because the Titans is going to be the test.
don't you just love those type of fans, right?
Yeah.
People to say, "Oh, since we beat them and they beat them."
At the
So
end of the day, though, I think we're going to see, man, because we got to stop Derrick Henry. We're going to see, man. That offensive line is good. That defense is good. So I think it's going to be a tough game, man. It's going to be one of them. You go see games, certain games, and it's kind of finesse and agile teams. And then you go to a game and you see those, you can hear them hitting each other in the parking lot. That's what type of game it's going to be.
so we got the Colts, Texans, Jags. Then on December 24th, on actual Christmas Eve, at the Eagles. And then December 29th, we got the Titans. And then it's the Commanders on January 8th. The time has yet to be announced. I'm pretty sure because they're going to make sure that that's a prime time, right? Depending on if both the Commanders and the Cowboys have been able to maintain. But I will tell you this right now. I mean, I know it's hard. We said we wouldn't get ahead of ourselves, but I do like our next three matchups ahead. I do like them, even though they're tough.
Hey,
They're
like I
sneaky.
said, I don't like to get ahead of myself either, but I'm going to tell you right now, Christmas Eve, Niners and Commanders, I believe,
Let me
and
double,
Cowboys and Eagles.
let me just double check just to make sure on that one real quick. Commanders schedule. Let's see here. Damn, you're right. At 3:05 p.m. Man, what a way to put the suspense on Christmas Eve. Why? Why? But hey, I love it, man. That's why being a part of Cowboys Nation is being Cowboys Nation. You play to win the game. LOL. Let's go, Cowboys. Let's
You
go.
play to win the game.
Yeah, I had that. I had it, but I took it off, man.
That
I
is
took-
true, man.
it's a fact of life almost, right? I mean, you play to win the game. I mean, that goes for life in general. Anything else, Harvey, before we get off? I mean,
No, man. All I gotta say is, hey, don't forget about the hat giveaway.
for sure, for sure.
Make sure you guys subscribe. At the end of the day, we're here for y'all, so you can learn the game. We give you all the stats, all the breakdowns, so you can, they call us toxic, right? I think that's what we said. They call us toxic. Well, if you know what's going on and you know the stats, the players, what's going on with each player, you're not as toxic, I guess. We're trying to, you know, we're still going to be obnoxious though. It doesn't matter.
For sure.
But
For
yeah,
sure.
man. No, I'm blessed. Thank you for everybody tuning in, man.
Thank you for everybody that has, like you said, tuned in, and of course that is liking our social medias and whatnot. And like you said, the giveaway. Thank you for subscribing. We see the number going up. We thank you so much for that. Tomorrow, like we said, we'll have another breakdown, but we'll actually incorporate what Mike McCarthy said during his press conference today. And of course, we'll get some Dan. We'll see if we can get some Dan Quinn. If not tomorrow, the following day as well. And we'll have fun like we do it here on the Cowboys Cast. But that's it for us. You guys have a good evening, and thank you all.